What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Diversity. And today we are going to talk about a film that I have been excited to see for many years. Funny story, actually. I had no idea. Well, I didn't. Let me not say I had no idea, but I really did not know what Wicked was. I mean, I've heard about it, but I just was indifferent to it until I went to London the summer of 2010, and I went to the West End to see it. I went in with no expectations. I didn't know what to expect, and so when I got there, I saw the set pieces. Like it looked pretty cool. And then once the music started, it held my attention. Like the music started playing, I was like, "Oh, oh." And then they started getting into it because I kinda knew it was a Wizard of Oz story, but I really didn't know all the details about it, and it just caught my attention, and I loved every second of it. I did not expect it to be as funny as it was, because there are some scenes where I was just cracking up laughing, and then there's some scenes that were very emotional. And I was not expecting either of those. I wasn't expecting it to be as great as it was. Like it is my number one musical. Like it is my favorite. And after seeing it caught my it pretty much just held on to my attention. And in 2019 when there was casting news, the Wicked was, gonna be turned into a movie, and they were talking about casting. I was like, oh, yes, yes, they're doing it. And finally, last year, when they or earlier this year when they released the trailer during the Super Bowl, like I was excited, and I could not contain my excitement. Like the time is here, and lo and behold, November, I go in the movie theater, I'm blown away. But of course, I'm not the only one who saw the movie. Let me get into it with my peoples, and they will also tell you about their experience with this fantastic musical. Who wants to go first, gentlemen?
Who child? It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. Y'all know I didn't watch no trailers, right?
What? You didn't watch any of the trailers?
No,
Gas.
Oh,
because one, I felt like I didn't personally didn't want to be spoiled too much.
mhm.
Um, I really wanted to go into it blind. I have not read the book. I have not seen the damn musical. I would like to see the musical. But I don't know how that's gonna sit with me. No shade. Um, But I think this is the first actual thing that I know that it's like a pop culture icon in the musical world and everywhere. I think I really went into this really blind as fuck. Um, but when I did watch the trailer, I actually watched the trailer the night I got home after seeing the movie and was like, you know what? I'm kind of glad I didn't watch no trailer because I mean, it showed a lot. That first trailer showed a lot. I mean, it showed a lot. I was like, "Oh, girl, that's the whole movie right there." Without the, meat and potatoes of the dialogue and stuff, but dang, that's the whole movie. But I will say, I had a great time watching it. I am kind of bummed out I did not see it in IMAX, because Moana. But oh well. I guess we got to talk about Moana too next week, cause girl. But I was just like, dang, I really wanted to see it in IMAX. I wanted that loud musical numbers in my ear, but AMC still did a good justice of it, and it was really, really good. I give it a lot of a praise. It was really good.
Mhm,
I was very impressed. I will say that.
mhm.
I too had never seen Wicked at all in any capacity. I just know that three things is relevant to Wicked before I saw this movie. Um, Adele Dazeem was the that's how her career got started. And out here in Memphis a couple of years ago, the Orpheum was running that show down here. They were like, every time I was watching any sort of main television, I'm seeing a commercial, and what would come to find out is Defying Gravity would be the song played. And I think I saw the one trailer with and a couple of clips and everything like that, but I'm just like, I guess for me, I was kind of like not iffy on spoilers because it's like it's the Wizard of Oz, and I was unsure how fast and loose they were going to play with directly referencing the story, or how early in the story and how not. But then I'm like, when I watched the movie, I'm like, okay, so they're actually like framing it like if you were watching a musical where, and the beginning of certain like musicals, they'll start off with a big number to get you into the production and everything, and then start to tell the story. And that's what they did. But yeah, I remember Aaron saying, man, I think it was the second trailer that you said that they showed a lot and showed everything and spoiled. And I think I avoided that trailer.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I may have seen that. I think I may have seen that. I don't know if it was the second trailer or not, but they played a trailer when I was it Furiosa or Transformers 1? No, turn that off. Turn that off. That's a Nintendo song. Turn that off. Turn that one off. That's a Nintendo song. Turn that off. Do not play that one. Do not play that one. That's a Nintendo song.
He was about to have heart palpitations.
Yeah, you took that man up real quick.
I'll cut it short. I'll cut it short.
No.
Yeah, Wicked was a top 10 movie for me. It is definitely in my top 3 movies I've seen all year for sure. Up there with The Wild Robot and Transformers 1. Just a fantastic movie. I am one of those Ariana fans where I already know she's going to be funny in television and movies. God. I watched Victorious, unlike Adam McKay, who apparently didn't realize Ariana Grande had a very successful comedic acting career prior to her singing career going off. But I'll leave that alone for right now. How the fuck you cast her in a comedic role and go, I didn't know Ariana Grande was funny? Bitch, did you not do the research? Did you not know that she was the primary comedic lead in a television show so successful that they gave her her own spinoff? Like, I guess but that's just me.
You speak the truth.
But I knew Ariana was gonna kill it. I didn't know she was gonna kill it this fiercely, but I knew she was. Cynthia, Cynthia, I wasn't too familiar with her stuff. I think this actually might be the first ever, unless I'm tripping, this might be the first Cynthia Erivo movie I've ever seen. But this is a hell of a first outing for her. I remember seeing a behind the scenes where they were talking about they set up the sets to really take advantage of their singing voices and not have to rely on any digital work to make it sound good. And you can definitely tell watching the film that these people are singing. They are singing their asses off.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to music in a second. Aaron, what about you?
Oh, I have no thoughts. I think John Q did his job.
Yeah, how you got introduced to Wicked? How you got introduced to it?
I mean,
because you knew about it somehow. Because we were talking, like, we've been talking about it for years, so you knew about it somehow.
I knew about it because of some TV show by Ryan Murphy. We ain't got to get into that.
About them singing kids.
You know, it existed, and then I was intrigued. And listen to that soundtrack over and over and over. I never got to see the actual Broadway play. Still want to, but like Mike said, I might, I have opinions. It is what it is. Yeah, the cast was top notch. Made me continuously hate some characters that I still hate.
Are we gonna get into that? Because I got some thoughts.
You know, but like I was trying to be really nice, but it's not multiverse here, Aaron. If I don't say some shit, if I don't talk my shit, this is how you do a movie musical. Tom Hooper, like my God, this is how you do it. Like you said, Ariana with the comedic chops. You know and Cynthia just giving the pathos. Yeah, let's use the word. Let's use the big word, the pathos. And Ariana giving us the bathos. Like that stuff. That's some good stuff. It's a good ass movie.
And one way, the one way to segue into that, talking about good ass movie, we got to talk about the music first. Because that's one of the
score.
The score, there's just so much about this soundtrack, and I'm so happy that they got the composer of the original, and the lyricist of the original musical on board to do the music. And
thank you.
Just the score, like Aaron said, the score coming in and then going into she's dead, just going to telling that Alpha was dead, going hold on, let me pull up the soundtrack track list so I can.
No One Mourns the Wicked.
No One Mourns the Wicked. And
While Avia's looking it up, I want to say I did catch, as somebody who's very familiar with both the white and the black version of the Wizard of Oz story, I did like how at the beginning when they're doing the panning shot of everything, you can hear the motifs of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes.
Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. All of the songs you hear at the end of the Wizard of Oz before they cut into what Avi is about to describe.
All right. Yeah. So we definitely hear that, and because at the beginning we know that it's a Wizard of Oz story because we see Dorothy, the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, all walking down the Yellow Brick Road, like at the very beginning of the film. So our minds automatically are, okay, this is a Wizard of Oz story. So of course they're going to have some some odes to the original, like Q was pointing out. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, all that. But we go into No One Mourns the Wicked, which they're pretty much saying how evil Elphaba was, and it's very catchy. But the Munchkins are terrible people. They are so gullible. They are terrible people. Terrible.
Those bigoted fucks. No, they're not gullible. We're not giving them gullibility. They are complicit. They are stupid. They're ignorant, bitch ass people. And like I told y'all,
he right.
I was Elphaba. Yeah. If I was Nessa, I would be putting boots to their ass too, for being the hoes that they are. How you come out?
Nessa, he right. He right.
You come out the gate hating and shit. Like I could go there real quick about the pot calling kettles black. But I'm gonna keep it cute on the live. But let me just say,
where were the Munchkins on January 6th?
But I was super pissed off watching these Munchkins act like the fucking friends of acting like they was conceptualizing robots to send robots after Elphaba for being green and shit. Like, fuck you, Munchkins. Like,
they believed the propaganda. They believed it. Every word of it.
Like,
so
and fuck people who believe the propaganda.
So, during No One Mourns the Wicked, we see Miss Galinda come down in her bubble, and she's pretty much is the Munchkins' favorite person, pretty much ever. Like they love her. They absolutely
the blonde
love her.
hair, blue-eyed lady.
Yep. And Ariana hits those high notes. Ariana hits those
Yes.
high notes. Like, she does it perfectly. And as they're, as she's singing this big ass wooden statue of Elphaba, and they burn it, and she gets the torch and she burns it, and she's just, as she's singing, like, you could see the sorrow, like, in her face, because we're gonna learn that that's our best friend. And that's just like, No One Mourns the Wicked is the perfect introduction to what we're about to see, because at the end of it, the girl asks, but wait, Miss Glinda, weren't y'all best friends? Didn't you know her? Glinda's like, well, she kept trying to stray her answer away. It's like, yeah, we knew each other, but it was a long time ago. Like, girl, it wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago. But we go into we end with No One Mourns the Wicked. We go to dear old then we're in the past where we're at Shiz University, and they do the choir song Dear Old Shiz. Not really much to, not really one of the bigger songs. And then we get introduced to Elphaba, who is during let me rephrase. During No One Mourns the Wicked, we get a background of Elphaba. We see how she becomes green. We see that her mom basically had an affair with a man while her father, the governor of Munchkinland, was away, and the man she was having an affair with had a green bottle. The mom took it. The mom gets pregnant. She has Elphaba. And her dad, the governor, cannot stand the sight of her. Like, as soon as he sees, she's like, get it away! Get it away! And he's like, oh, man, really?
Fucking
you
bitches.
just like. And it was like, but one thing that I did like about what they added, because since they broke it into part 1 and part 2, I like that they added that Elphaba was young. She was like 6, or like 6 or 7. I love that they added a young Elphaba with Nessa Rose, because it added, even though we already know her background, like, it's pretty well stated in the book and in the musical, but this one kind of just gave it that, because we see that she's been dealing with this her whole life. So that little snippet was a good touch. And Elphaba is now older. She's with her sister and her dad, dropping off Nessa Rose at school. She's university, but Elphaba's not going. She's just there just to be there for her sister. And her dad still can't stand her, and so while she's there, she gets the attention of Madame Morrible, because a teacher was trying to pretty much cart Nessa Rose off to her room, but Nessa's like, no, I can do it myself. And Elphaba was trying to tell her that too. So Nessa stops. Elphaba stops everything. Stops Nessa. She lifts her up in the air, and she catches the attention of Madame Marble. And Madame Marble pretty much pulls her aside. It's like, look, you have so much potential, and with that, I could train you, and you can finally meet the wizard. I can help you meet the wizard. And so that's when we get The Wizard and I, which is one of my favorites. I love The Wizard and I, because we see Elphaba is just a girl who wants to be accepted, and I love that the last part of it, she's running in the field. It's like, so I'll stand there with the wizard, like that part, and she's just like belting out. She's running in this field, and Cynthia hits that powerful note at the very end, and it's just like I was just sitting in my chair like, oh my god, that's exactly how I envisioned The Wizard and I love how, like he was saying, they incorporated these sets to go with their singing voice, so you could hear them sing live, and you could hear it. You could definitely hear it, and I love how they used every single part of the sets that they made. Like, it's big. Like, the sets just look big because the songs are big, and so we get to so Elphaba and we get Glinda as we get a glimpse of Glinda as a student, and Glinda is this pampered, prissy, passive aggressive student and she wants to be a I mean, like she's spoiled, like the girl is spoiled, like and so her and Elphaba get roomed together, and so we get What Is This Feeling, which is pretty much them just can't stand the sight of each other, and I love it.
I love what it complimented both of them well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the prequel of them harmonizing and like meshing well together as like singers, and that's what I love about What Is This Feeling. You get that nice musical singing and talking at the same time, and it just it was a breath of fresh air to just see that play out from the beginning of the movie up until that part, because I was waiting on that. I was waiting to see them sing together, and that was like that perfect emotion for everything.
Because in the play, in the musical, like just hearing them like going like that, you know, when Glinda's like when she's describing like lengthy description of Elphaba, and all Elphaba does, she just looks down at the paper thinking how to describe Glinda. She says blonde. Everyone in the theater just erupted because it was just so funny, and you see that Elphaba does have a sense of humor, and that song definitely brings out her humor. And we get, you know, Something Bad, you know, which is Dr. Dillman, who is a goat professor at Shiz. He's pretty much saying like something bad is happening to us with all the animals that were here, like they're disappearing, or they're not able to talk anymore. Pretty much is giving a description of what's pretty much been happening and going on in all this. And then we get
Something Bad was I like Something Bad just because of the POV of what the animals was going through. You know, the emotions and the scaredness and the fear of that they cannot, you know, have a voice anymore. So I think that was a way for them having a voice with that song and those lyrics. Because I looked at the lyrics, because somebody was like, I don't know about that one, and I was like, let me look at these lyrics real quick. And I was like, I get where they was coming from. It was like the voice of the animals, because they needed that, you know.
Let me just say, I want to applaud Peter Dinklage, because over the last couple of years, he has been accused of phoning it in when he does voiceover work. And he actually put his effort into conveying emotion. Because let me just say this, my heart was breaking for that. I know it's on paper, it can be perceived as silly. Oh, it's the animal, but in this current climate our world is in, that type of storyline and story arc, and I don't know if that was in the original play or not. Y'all have to educate me on that.
It was in the play.
But yeah, like that was very like what they were saying, what they were using, the allegory that they were using, and then later on in the film, and when we get to that part, I'll bring it all together. Is, you know, it was like, damn, like this shit is awful. And as you start to learn that this is like the linchpin, this is how everything begins in terms of understanding the dynamics in the Wizard of Oz, you just can't help but feel angry and like my main thing I say about this movie is that if you have any semblance of empathy in your heart, this movie is going to hit you very emotionally. Like if you have any sort of empathy towards the plights of others, of people who go through discrimination and trying to be silenced. Not being silent, but being silenced. You will definitely feel very strong emotions that will like have you reflecting on this movie. Because Lord knows that was me. I recorded 2 videos and a voice recorder to articulate my thoughts after seeing that movie. Because golly, I was shook to my core.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into the themes of it for sure, because there are a lot of themes. And this next one, oh boy, you could tell this was the one, like this is one of the few that you could tell like they went balls to the wall. Like they were like, you know, we're going all out with this, and it's dancing through life, and you could tell. And you could tell they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like we're gonna think of any crazy thing that we can, and they did. Like Jonathan Bailey, just like the man was so charismatic. Like I know this is Aaron's least favorite song. I know this is his least favorite song.
Oh my god, I was like, when it got like maybe, because the song is 7 minutes.
Oh
When it got like the 4 minutes, I was like, oh, y'all going there. This is the big musical number. This is, we putting all our eggs in the basket. We gonna shake it up, throw it up, Easter egg type. You know, it was giving all that jazz, all that,
It was. I give him
everything from the comedy lines to it, to him singing, to Ariana falling for him, and it's or Glenda falling for him, and it's just everything with, even when they were dancing in the little circle thing that was turning, the little bookcase thing, like
Mhm.
whoever choreographed this, oh, like hands down, like did the damn thing, because I was like, oh my god, like how many times did y'all have to run through this?
Right,
could
because
be
Jonathan
like,
Bailey did his
okay,
own stunts. Like he
yes,
did his own
Yeah.
dancing. Like everything was him. Like everything. Like give him his tens. Like you give the man his tens for that. Like because that was insane, and he did a great job with it. And let's see, we got probably one of the bigger songs of the overall musical, but definitely in part one, we have Popular.
Lar.
La, 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 la.
So it's funny. So I want to give y'all an anecdote because I only unlocked this memory driving past my old high school a couple of weeks ago. So when I was a junior in high school, I was in acting class. I took acting class. My high school that I went to at the time, they were they have their own theater in the school setup. So it was a very cool thing to be a part of. And I remember the girls was singing that song. And I'm like, huh. I just kind of just rolled with it because it's, acting class, so clearly it's a musical. And I'm like, huh. And when I heard when I'm like watching the hype for Wicked, I'm like, oh, this is where that song comes from, because the cadence of it all. And I want to throw this grenade in the room about the song. I love the choreography of that song. Ariana killed it completely, especially towards the end. And the physical comedy that she gives in that whole sequence is fantastic. But compared to the first version, I do have to give it to the first version because I feel like, I don't know what it is. Ariana's clearly the better singer, but I feel like the way the actress articulated herself as Glenda in the original musical with good old Adele Dazeem, it just kind of, that's the one.
Well, let me answer your question, Q. Like the Popular Kristen Chenoweth, like the bulk of the comedy, the bulk of it is in that 9 minutes when Glinda and Elphaba come back from the ice, when they come back from the dance. Like the bulk of, even though like they're definitely comedic parts pretty much all throughout the musical, but that is the bulk of the comedy. But right before they get into Popular, so Kristen is just a naturally funny person. So she, like, especially her last performance, she went balls to the wall. Like she tripped. She's like, oh well, like she went for it, like, and it worked. And I think because you're right. It's like, what's the difference between the original and, because like Ariana did great. Like she did a fantastic job. I think they're more different because just how they went about it. Because Kristen's was more verbal and faithful, Her comedy is more verbal and facial, as opposed to Ariana's being more physical. Because I think that's the difference. Because it's like when Kristen said, like in the original Popular, like when Kristen said something funny, like you busted out laughing. Like when she was doing ball gown, and Elphaba was like, "Do you want some help with that?" It's like, "No, just wear the frock. It's pretty." Like just how she said it, you're like, "Oh my god!" And just like there's some Galinda's like when she said that her and Fiyero were getting married, and Elphaba was like, "Well, does he know?" And she's like, "No, but he will though." And then she goes, and she goes on the bed. And she's like, "Ah," and then she just does like that, just certain things that certain Glindas do that make the performance of Popular pop in their own unique way. And I feel like
I was just gonna say, because I kind of figured that, because what you're saying echoes a lot of what I read, but I wanted Mike to answer as well, because there was a specific thing that Mike said that I was interested in hearing it, because I want to kind of say something after what he says, which I think will catch y'all by surprise.
Michael.
He's becoming popular.
Mike, did you go to Marvel Rivals on us?
Do you see him on the PlayStation? Do you see him?
My PlayStation isn't turned on, but he didn't say he just disappeared. I know this man did not go to Marvel Rivals.
I'm sorry, I was summoned. What's up?
So no, I was just talking about Popular. So I was gonna ask you to.
Oh.
Speak on it.
I'm okay.
Me and Avi already done talked about it.
Beautiful gowns next.
But no, I want you
Ball gown.
because I feel
Ball gown. Ball gown.
So
that was a funny part. Ball gown. Oh, that was a funny part. But yeah. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
No, because I was gonna say, because when Mike is telling y'all is he didn't care for it much, and I sort of
no, it wasn't that I didn't care for it. I guess when you hear and everybody's like, this is the one. This is, I was expecting grand, like, I don't know. Maybe I was expecting something else. Don't get me wrong, and I was telling Aaron earlier. I said I did listen to it 3 times, so I do now I listened to it 3 times back to back, and I was like, okay, I have a newfound appreciation for it. But at first, I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, to that point, we were saying it. Well, in the musical, it's not big, like it's not grand, like it's not like the set. There's the only set pieces are their beds and their dressers. Like there's so it's like truly like that particular music number is all about the performance of Galinda. Like it's all about Galinda. Like how is she gonna do it? Because like we're just talking about like with Kristen Chenoweth, like it was all about her like verbal expression, like when she sang so like that ball gown, like how she did it, like every I was telling Q, like every Q and Aaron, like every comedic thing in Popular, like just it's hilarious. Like the musical number, like this one is pretty funny too, but the musical number was, I think they were depending more on the music, but the actual like musical number is hysterical.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said, after listening to it I listened to it 3 times back to back, and I was like, okay, Ariana, you did what you had to do for the movie.
Mhm.
You know, there's
Mhm.
like, even when she got on the floor and she was like, you know, scooting around and shit like that. Now
Yes.
that was funny. That was funny. That was funny to me. And I had to watch it again, like on YouTube, just to be like, okay, girl, maybe like I said, in the first watching and viewing of it, I was like, I guess I was a little lost for words, but it wasn't
Mhm.
like I didn't hate it. I just was like, okay, I was more engulfed into what the story was given at that point.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I do think she did good. I think Ariana did a really, really good job.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
she
have
did
heard the
fantastic.
original song, and I think the difference in both of them, I can see a clear difference, but I do feel like they are strong on their own.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm. And then we have I Am Not That Girl. And this is a pretty sad song. You know, if her Fiyero and Elphaba, they go into the woods and help a lion cub be released into the wild. And while they're in the wilderness, Elphaba's like, you know what? Because at this point, Fiyero is dating Galinda, and Elphaba's like, you know what? I don't have a chance with this man. Like I don't. And she just starts singing about it. And you just feel so bad for her because like she's starting to have feelings for this man, but she can't do anything about it because she thinks he doesn't like her. And you know, he's with
So
her friend.
Can I make an amendment to this? So
Yeah.
I told Mike this in more detail, but I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. So I was enjoying this movie and so enthralled with it, but I had to go to the bathroom, so I was like, I have to sacrifice.
You missed the song? You missed it?
I believe I missed this song because I when
Oh.
I went to the bathroom, I went to the bathroom like I'm like, okay, maybe they don't say anything. No, I went to the bathroom like they were silent, so I'm like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom. I did. If it was up to me and I trusted my bladder and my bladder was going to cooperate, I would have not gone to the bathroom the entire movie. I actually hated that I had to get up and like, go to the bathroom. So when I came back, it was more so them staring into each other's eyes and whatnot. After the fact, and then they were like, "Oh, let's get you to the whatchamacalls it. Let's get you back. Let's go back to the school and everything." So I'm sorry to Wicked. What it was is I stupidly got a Liquid Death, and when I went to the theater, and I'm like, oh man, that was too much water. That water was doing too much to me. I hated it.
It's like the end of Wicked.
I don't want that. I'm gonna delete that because I don't want to think about that right now. Because I'm gonna get into this right now. We're talking about the music stuff. I'm gonna get into my feelings on the story beats once we get past all the music stuff. I got a lot of thoughts that I want y'all's opinions on when we get to the actual story beats.
So next we have One Short Day, which is Elphaba gets an invitation. Finally, she's showing her magic acumen with Madame Morble, and Madame Morble writes a letter to the wizard saying Elphaba's ready. So Elphaba gets an invitation to the Emerald City. So her and Galinda go, and it's pretty much their experience. Like everything is fantastic, like everything is green, everything is great. But the one thing that surprised me, and they kept this a secret until the very end, until the soundtrack was released. The moment, because they added this, the moment when they go to the show and they pretty much give a background of the Grimoire, which is like a spell book, ancient spell book. We see Christian Chenoweth and Idina Menzel come out and start singing again.
You gotta say you gotta say her proper name.
That's not her problem. Not saying that's not her proper name.
You got come on.
No.
Idina Menzel.
Adele.
So we see them on stage again together, and I let out a what the fuck? Like I let that like no. I was like no way, no.
Even as someone who never saw the actual play, when they popped up, I'm like, okay, I had to appreciate it because I'm like, I something tells me that this was not leaked or anything like that. This was meant to be a surprise for Avia, the type of fans like Avia who loved this from day one. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. And it gave me opportunity to say out to myself in the theater, there go Idina Menzel. There she goes.
But
So
one thing that like they never lost that chemistry. Like they never lost. Like if you look at them, like when they're like pushing each other off the stage, like when they're bored, like trying to push each other out of their way, to get the attention on stage, like that's them. Like that is them. Like that's what people fell in love with this with the original musical. Like that's it. And it just made people who know and who've seen the original musical just happy. Like that is what you call fan service in the best form. Like that was great. And so we go to A Sentimental Man, and that's when Glinda and Elphaba finally go meet the wizard, and he's pretty much saying that he's always wanted to be a father. Foreshadowing. he always wants to be a father, and Jeff Goldblum did a pretty good job with it. And then we have the big one, the one that everybody was waiting for to see exactly how they did it, and they did it beautifully. So Elphaba finds out that the wizard is pretty much faking everything
because he's a bitch.
And he's faking everything, and they pretty much want to use Elphaba's magic to pretty much help with the animal situation. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. And so one example was just test her. They have the Grimoire, and she uses it. She does a spell to give the monkeys wings, and she, instead of just giving one wings, she gave them all wings. So that's how powerful she was. And Elphaba's like, you know what? I'm not going to help you because you have no real power. And so Elphaba and Glinda go on the run, even though Glinda doesn't really want to go on the run, because Glinda's like, hold up, let's think about this. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But Elphaba's like, whatever, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So they run from the guards, and this is where we get the beginning of Defying Gravity. He's like, I hope you're happy too. They're just like them going at it, and then Elphaba coming to the realization that, you know what, I'm not gonna let anybody hold me down anymore. I've been held down my whole life. My father, my sister, everybody. I'm not doing it anymore. So when she starts going, it's an experience. Like you see the change in her, like going little by little as the musical number goes on. And the guards break in. Well, she does her magic to get the broom. She does her magic on the broom so they can fly out of here. And Glinda's like, you know what? I'm gonna, like, she tries her best to not say that she's not going without saying she's not going. She's like, here. She gets Elfie a cape, and then they start getting back into it, and she escapes, and she's in the clouds, and that's when she hits the famous, I don't want to say scream because it's not a scream, a battle cry. It's not a scream, it's a battle cry that Wicked is known for. Because if you want to be Elphaba, you had to have a very powerful voice. And so they were able to spread out Defying Gravity in like 10 minutes. Like they definitely drug it out a bit. But I didn't mind it. I know there's some people who are like, I prefer the 7-minute version. But I understand why they drug it out that long, because they were making a part 2. They knew we were going to make a part 2, so they needed to expand it somehow so they could have enough for part 2. But Defying Gravity hits every single check on the box, and Cynthia knocked it out the park. I like it was fantastic. Like it was the perfect way to end the film. Like beautifully done. No notes. No notes.
I agree. Like Ben Affleck. PM.
Yeah, I was literally gagging. Like, I listened to that song all day, every day since I've seen it. Like, unlimited. Oh, girl, you talking about somebody was in tears? Like, oh my god! Like,
Together
I
we'll be the
was.
greatest team there's ever been.
You talking about shook, gagged?
They were
and
working in tandem. They were working in tandem.
Were they though? Were they really?
The girl, Cynthia, gave me everything I needed in Defying Gravity, and it's crazy because I'll never be able to perform that in the drag world because everybody's gonna be performing that song next year. Like everybody, I'm gonna have to bring that back in like 10 years. But like, man.
And let's give Cynthia her 10s. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, you good. No, give her her 10s. No, give her her 10s. Yeah, she gets them. Go ahead.
But she was actually flying. Like, she was actually like on the wire flying.
Right.
And singing at the same time. Like, that is incredibly hard. And she was still doing it. Like, just seeing the behind the scenes footage of her on the broom, on the wires, like doing like backflips.
That's what happens
on the
when
broom.
you hold space.
Yep.
That's what happens. Now I love her rendition just because the very end, her "Nobody in All of Oz," speech, like it was more threatening. Like, oh, that really is the Wicked Witch to them. I just, she nailed it. Say what you want about Cynthia, but the girl can sing.
Oh yeah, because what she said, and nobody in all of us. Like, I was like,
when she said that, I said that lady was tapping into her Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
The way she said nobody, I felt that. I was like, oh, she means business. Like,
So
I can just tell y'all now that for part 2, when For Good, because they kind of played a little bit of it, that like when they perform that duet part 2, I am going to be in tears. Like, I'm saying it right now.
So
I've been trying not to listen to the second half of the music on the original soundtrack. I've been trying my best not to listen to the second half, but once I read the book, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to it.
I'm not touched. I'm sorry.
No, I know by November, I'm probably gonna be done consume that book. I'm probably gonna consume that book in the next, probably by the end of this year. Because I got to know, but 2, I am curious about the second half of the song. So
I'm not touching Wicked Part 2. I'm not looking at it. I'm not smelling. I've already I read after I saw the movie, I read a thread which had some snippets, but I was just reading them, so I don't have any sort of vocal or ocular, connection to what they're like, to what the songs sound like. But yeah, I'm trying to go in as blind as possible. This might be the first movie I ever see where I don't watch a trailer.
I don't recommend it. I recommend not watching the trailer whenever they do part 2, like for real.
And
don't do it.
And that's where all the like Wizard of Oz stuff is incorporated with it. So yeah, I would definitely.
So are we in a space to talk about the pure story aspect of it now?
Yes. Yes. We can go into the themes and the story, and yes, we can go into that now. Yes.
So let me just lay my cards on the table and say this, and then I've been holding on to this particular point. I think I've only said this once in like my very first rough draft video I made. Mm-hmm. Wicked is one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen.
There you go.
Ooh,
because
speak on it.
Elphaba
Speak on it.
Elphaba is undisputedly a hero. If this was a Marvel, if this was DC, she would be. If Wicked was framed, boom, bam, non-factor Wizard of Oz. If you take all of these story elements, make them completely independent, Elphaba would be one of the most beloved heroes. Period. Of course, the stigma of, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a stigma. Wizard of Oz is one of the most iconic films of all time, but it has a very specific portrayal of the Wicked Witch of the West, and the Wicked, it acts as a intentional change of that viewpoint. But there's no way in hell. I'm gonna be real. Watching Wicked and understanding the general gist of the Wizard of Oz story, I'm pissed at all of these stupid fuckers. I am genuine, and I'm like, I understand on a literal level, the Wizard of Oz cannot exist in the same capacity as Wicked. The Wicked exists to be a separate understanding of the Wizard of Oz, just like the Wiz. Wicked and Wiz hold the same space as reinterpretations of the original works of the Wizard of Oz. I get that. I get it. I promise you I get that. I understand in 1929, Dorothy is the hero. The Wicked Witch of the West is the villain. I get all of that. I promise you. But with the way the world is today, with the way Cynthia plays it, when you look at how bigoted and stupid these fucking Ozians are and how poisonous the Wizard's entire presence being there, it's gonna be fucking hard. Unless Wicked Part 2 is an absolute dud, which I don't foresee, it's gonna be very fucking hard to sell people that the Wicked Witch of the West is a bad person. Because we live in a society nowadays where all it takes is one piece of media that reinterprets other villainous characters, and that changes their perception. We see it in superheroes, we see it in other sci-fi, and John Chu did the fucking thing to make me now, like, I literally watched clips of OG Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, it's hard for me to just look at this static interpretation without, and I'm interested in wondering if that's how you guys felt or watching the OG musical.
Interesting you said that, because I saw on Twitter that somebody said the Wizard of Oz is pretty much just a propaganda, Ozian propaganda, and Wicked. I saw it on Twitter,
which is absolutely, and I'm not gonna drone on too long because I'm sure y'all are gonna bring up great points that I want to speak on, but I'll say this: Defying Gravity was sold it to me. It wasn't just the amazing vocals, but it was the imagery. You know, the Ozians saw her flowing like this evil witch, but you know who I saw? Mike brought up Dark Phoenix, but that's not the comic book character I thought I
Storm.
looked at Elphaba. It's not even just Storm. Since technically Wizard of Oz falls under the Warner Brothers umbrella, even though this was a Universal production. You know, there's there's a certain first superhero, and it's like, God damn it, Elphaba was Superman. That's Superman imagery to me. She's like, that's like it's Superman imagery. She's trying to she's Superman. Why are you idiots? Why do you idiots always try to stop Superman? Stop trying to stop Superman from being Superman.
There's a metaphor there.
And here's a point that I'm glad people brought up when it comes to the themes of Wicked. If a white woman played Elphaba, sure, like a lot of the themes still would be there, like, you know, being ostracized, you know, not fitting in, all that would still be there. But a black woman playing Elphaba brought it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I think that is what set the movie. I mean, I hate to say it, but it puts it at a place where I don't think nobody's gonna be able to touch the way that this movie was portrayed and the way this movie was created with Elphaba being black, I don't think we'll ever have another moment like this for. It may come like in the next year or 2 or 3, but how the songs and the emotions and how the story just takes the character to a whole nother level of development.
Yes.
Like, I'm so happy that black women can look at this character and look up to this character. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It was beautiful to watch it unfold on that damn big screen. Like, it was so beautiful to watch. Like, the whole when they were at the club, the little party scene or whatever.
Man.
Like, that alone takes the cake of being alone and in that place of rawness and realness, and then having somebody have your back and be there.
Let me get it. I have a. Mike, I gotta talk to you.
Go ahead.
You just brought up something good. You just brought up something.
Speak on it.
So let me talk about Elphaba, then I'm gonna get to what you just said. So Elphaba being betrayed by a black woman, it's like everything that Elphaba does, like from being ostracized, but also being brilliant and being cast aside because of her difference. That black woman, that happens to black women all the time. When you have to, what's the saying? You have to be 10 times better. You gotta be 2 times better to get half as far. That's Elphaba all the way. And just, her being the moral compass at Shiz University, like when everyone didn't care about what was happening with animals, she did. She cared. Like she went to Dr. Dillman and she was like, "What's going on? What's happening with the animals?" She cared, and there can be a lot of people saying, "No, that's not right." What I'm about to say, but black people, but especially black women, have been the moral compass of this country pretty much since it was founded. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
No lies are being told. No lies are being told. None. Nothing you said was incorrect.
Okay, y'all hadn't said it yet. I'll say it. Oh
wait, Avia, is Avia froze?
I think she is. Oh, is she?
Oh shoot! They trying to take my girl out.
It's the
snipers, the game.
Snipers.
Girl. Oh
as
no!
soon as she said that particular part of what she said.
Facts. She was speaking facts. And on that note, we gonna pause real quick, cause Lord,
the snipers,
the sniper.
Well, while we
at
pause,
this point, hold on, I'ma just, you know what? Until she come back, it's just a perfect opportunity to just.
Andrew McCarthy is interested in more than just a good. Listen, he's having no trouble.
Could you say it again?
He speller in the white.
We're on your screen.
Said earlier, Steve, undefeated.
It's simple for program on therapeutic fiber.
Head to Broadway.
There we go. I'm back. I'm back.
Yay.
Internet issues, but yes, as I was saying, we have been the moral compass of this country since it was founded, and you definitely see that with Elphaba. No one else is doing the right thing, but she was, and that translates to when she was in Oz. It just was on a bigger scale. Like nobody was helping anyone. No one was helping with the animal situation, but she was, and so that made her look like a villain, even though she was doing the right thing.
I fucking hated that, so I can't express to you guys. I sat in that theater, and every time Elphaba was accosted or not believed, or like I fucking loathed it. I was like, yo, burn, yes, send the flying monkeys to fuck these people day up. Like, do all of the things. I don't care. Like, when I tell you that this movie was so effective at making me hate all of these dumb bitches in The Wizard of Oz, I'm like, y'all deserve these ass kickings that she alleged, which going off of the Wicked timeline, she never handed out these ass whippings. I wish she did, but it's like you guys are just out here being so bigoted and small-minded and hateful, and like, and I'm just gonna say it. I don't know. Don't tell me. Don't allude to it. Don't do. I'm gonna just say it. Like, if I'm to believe it still ends the same way the Wizard of Oz ends, I'm a pissed black man. I'm a super turbo pissed black man because, like, fuck all of that. Fuck you sending this 8-year-old girl to do all of this bullshit and not take the train, you fucking idiots. Not like, goddamn, you have this little girl.
But Glinda made her walk instead of taking a train. Glinda made her walk. Like, you walking this road. You
like,
walking. I'm not. You walking this road.
Like like I can't explain. And like I said, because the movie literally begins where Wizard of Oz ends. So if that's a natural assumption for me to make. But like, god damn, like that's like it's like on sitting there watching the movie and everything. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, they fuck Elphaba over because
that's to be like they have hate in their heart. Like they want like the wizard said, we wanted to give them someone to hate, and
you stupid fucking idiot.
But going to Mike's point, because before I forget, because I will forget, but going to what Mike said about someone to help, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Glinda was a faux ally. Glinda was a faux ally. She. If he was about it, like if he was really about it for your friend, you would have got on that broom with her, but you didn't.
Glinda got on my nerves. Like
you play you clown.
Like
you win clown prizes.
I'll never forget you talking about something. It was so funny because you thought, oh, you gonna love Glinda. I said, okay. You know, I'm already getting.
Well, I should have corrected myself. I should say you were gonna love Ariana's portrayal of Glinda. That's what I should have said.
I know, but it was just funny because I was sitting there watching that movie. I mean, 30 minutes in. What did I text? I said, I don't like her. All capital letters. The hoe is a hoe. And I don't like her. But Ariana, I love as Glinda. I do. But Glinda as a character in the story, cannot stand her because I was more upset because I was like, girl, you really oblivious and naive to what the shit that you're saying. Like, girl, have some decorum. Like, because I'm about to snatch you real quick, but I'm gonna let you keep. You know, right now, if the camera can see, I keep flipping my hair right now. Like, I'm gonna let you keep, because you was eating the girls up with the curls, and you know, you was eating them up. Ain't nobody had no hair like Glinda up in that, babe. It's like nobody. But yeah, Glinda, I just was, even in Defying Gravity, when they was like the whole I hope you're happy, like that, I was like, girl, you're not, you I feel your emotion, but girl, I still don't trust you. You know. But
she proved she can't be trusted, because like I said, she ain't a real ride or die. Like because if she truly was, but you would have gone on there with her. Like she wouldn't have stayed with the wizard and Mount of Marble if she really did care. If she really did care, like she wouldn't have stayed.
This shit is.
Come on, you almost there.
No, I'm gonna make that point at the end to tie it all together.
Just make it.
Make the point.
No, it's
just
like
the
fucking racism of it all. Man,
you're so close. Come on, you're so close.
It's see, that's where I was going with it. I don't know what y'all. I don't know what y'all need me to say.
Take us to church, Aaron.
What? Me?
Take us to
you
church.
You've been quiet for a minute, Aaron. You've been quiet for a minute.
Before Aaron, I want to say this though. I guess because I had several layers of anger watching this film at the events and these damn crying ass Ozians, and just to tie it all together, I'm like, these bitches deserve all the pain and suffering they get in Return to Oz. Like all the shit that fucking mountain put them through, they deserve every second of it. They deserve absolutely every fucking second of it.
You're right there. You're right there, people.
Say it, Eric. Say it. Say it.
The
You haven't said
parallels
anything, man. You say
between
it.
the U.S. election of this year and Wicked is right
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Elphaba
mean-
and Kamala, like, is right there.
And-
Like I said, it's the full allyship of it all. It's the full
Sound
allyship.
familiar?
Like you say that you're here for me, but then the moment I need you the most, you back out. You back out, and then you're gonna be used as political puppet.
Just
What?
like
Apple Rowan. Fucking
Them
FPO.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. That is so golly. That is the biggest that I guess that's why I said this is a top 3 film for me of the year,
Mhm.
is because it's not just the amazing music that kept me involved and kept me enthralled with the film. It's literally, it's like, holy shit, this shit is so fucking topical right now. What's happening?
Yeah, it's very relevant right now. Very
Like,
relevant.
It was heartbreakingly relevant, heartbreakingly topical. Like it's and I guess what kind of just I got locked it in for me is like what I mentioned earlier, is that if I just, and you know, these are movie adaptations. Movie adaptations can change endings, they can do things, they can add more context, but and only if a select few works of art period can do this to me, is where sometimes having an understanding of how things happen in the future can enhance what you're watching now. And even though that this scenario is talking about a movie from the Depression, it still is like, man, it fucking sucks. Like if I'm to believe that Elphaba loses, you know, is fucking killed by a kid, and fucking the comeuppance, everybody's singing and dancing, and Dorothy gets to fucking sing her goddamn 20-minute Over the Rainbow fucking song, and the wizard gets to take his ass home too, and all this is like, send the mountain, send the scary ass talking mountain with the shoes and fuck them up. Just do that already. I'm over it. Just get these motherfuckers out my face, because y'all don't deserve this shit. What's pissed me off so much was when, like you mentioned earlier, Avia, when Oz was talking about someone, you know, when I came here, let me try to do my best Jeff Goldblum impression. When I came here, you know, it was such disarray and chaos, and from where I'm from, you know, the best way to unite people is to give them something to hate. And like, you dumb bitch.
So he wants to make Oz great again.
Human to Strange New Lands 101 is you never bring the bullshit here to a new place. Everybody knows that. You're supposed to know that. And you just...
So you're saying he's a colonizer?
Nice, sir. Right about that's a colonizer point of view.
Like,
Bringing
it's
your
super
shit-
colon, and it's like that, and it was so because it was so realistic, because it was so of course this dumbass fraud would think of something like this. Of course he would fucking ruin this entire place by being a fucking it was like fuck. Like fuck, and like this is everything is fucked because of this, because of him. And
It's because of Bach. Actually, Bach is the reason why everything is wrong in the world. So
can we talk about how
Block haters, block haters.
I hate Bach. I don't care. I hate Bach.
the funniest thing for me, I will quick not even a tangent, a quick blurb. The funniest thing for me was coming to the realization that, oh, that's Scarecrow and fucking Tin Man. That was the funniest realization watching that movie. Like, oh, they're doing that too. I was like, huh.
That
I was
poor
not
girl
expecting that.
Jessica.
I legitimately wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, like I said, part 2 is where like all the Wizard of Oz stuff actually like comes into play. Like
Yeah.
in the
And part 2 is a
intersections
lot
of
more dramatic.
yeah.
Question.
Yes.
So, without spoiling,
Hmm.
will it be like in the present and in the past, or is it gonna like?
No,
gonna
it's
be
gonna
like what-
be. It's gonna be like a in the future. It's gonna be like a depending on the time gap. Like they might have stretched it out a little bit, but in the play, it's 3 months
Yeah.
ahead. They fast forward 3 months ahead,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the intersection between
Which
what's
still
going on
don't
with
make
Elphaba and
sense.
Dorothy in them, like the intersection of the Wizard of Oz story and Elphaba story, and they pretty much intersect.
I hope it's some years. I hope it's like a couple.
Yeah, I think they should do years instead of months. They should do
Because it
years.
never made sense for like just 3 months because so much happens.
Mhm.
Unless
Yeah.
they're just unless they're giving you down. I feel like if anything is given very much like soap opera timeline.
True. All I know
That's
is
what-
Nessa is that girl in the mirror.
Yep.
That's a reference for the future, people.
So, can I go? Can I put on and this? And of course, this isn't really this isn't really much for you and Avia because y'all seen the entire show. But indulge me for a second. So, like, it's implied Nessa killed her dad when she found. Like, it's implied that because since she's the Wicked Witch of the East, it's implied that that was her powers manifesting when she found out that when she heard rather that
Oh,
Elphaba.
you sweet soul.
I mean, because we can get into. I mean, I got
It's a little more dramatic than that. You wonderful, you powerful muskox.
because it's like I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting for the shoe to drop because they kind of was sort of like. Because at first I was like, "Oh, Nessa is a sweet sister. She is like
Fuck Nessa too.
But then Nessa was on some hating ass shit as the movie progressed. And I'm
Man, like
Everybody is a
she
hater.
kept blaming
except for
Elphaba for everything. Like she kept blaming Elphaba for everything. Like, girl, she
Just like a
did not
damn
ruin your
baby.
chances with Bach. Like she did not. Bach didn't like you in the first place. Okay, he had a thing for Glinda. So stop blaming her for everything that's going on with you. Stop it. I just wanted to, like during the play, I want to say, stop it.
Nessa
Stop
is-
it. Like she is not.
Nessa. Everybody's a
Love
hater
the
in
actress
this place.
down. Like love the actress down. Like the actress.
Oh, yeah.
did fantastic
Fantastic.
job.
Somebody said she should play Barbara Gordon, and I mean, or
Ooh.
No, we're not wasting any good casting choices.
I'm just
on
saying that's what
that-
Twitter. That's what
That
that app is saying.
We're gonna wait on that. We're gonna wait on that one. We're gonna wait.
Oh,
and
that
see.
universe isn't gonna last.
I had a. Oh shit! I can't let the. I gotta say this. Michelle Yeoh, my
Yes.
queen, my legend, my
Uh-oh.
beloved. Such a fantastic actress who's been in a lot of great movies that I love, a lot of great television that I love. She deservedly won an Oscar for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. We love you here, but you do know that this was a musical, right? And that you had to like practice singing to sell the musical aspect of it, and they only gave you about a nice. I asked you to sing for about a nice 30 seconds. You couldn't do a little bit more than that. I mean,
Shirley Ralph was right there.
I mean, like, we
Hell,
all
Meryl
look,
Streep was right
again.
there.
We love you, and y'all tell me if I'm out of line for this critique or not. But I'm just like, when she started singing, I'm like, oh, huh.
It exists.
Hmm.
She was holding space.
But
for part
final
two.
thoughts. Like we'll go
Mikey.
around. Q final thoughts.
I'm gonna let Mike go first.
Boy, go ahead and give your final thoughts.
My final thought is this. You know what? You know, Oz. I was first introduced to you rocking out with Diana Ross, MJ, and the rest of the good folks of the Wiz, and you know, that kind of influenced my perception on that. And then in elementary school, my music teacher, see, back in the day, they used to teach you music in schools for free. One of the songs that we had to sing and everything was "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." So I'm like, yeah, Wizard of Oz. That's something that's ingrained. And then I watched the director's cut of Wizard of Oz, and I said, I'm never watching this movie again because it's too fucking long. And I was like 8 or 10 at the time. So I was like, this movie's way too fucking long. And these commercials are making it 5 hours. Get the hell out of here. But overall, I'm like, oh man, Oz kind of they get fucked up like in the future books and shit. And I was like, that sucks. You know, they can't catch a break. After watching Wicked, you guys don't deserve a fucking break. You deserve less. You don't deserve anything. You fell for propaganda. People who fall for propaganda deserve nothing but the misery and woe that they invite. You do not deserve to be singing and singing and fucking dancing. You know how mad I was at the beginning where I'm like, oh, this movie's gonna make me empathize with this. And I was already kind of mad. And then I got even more mad watching how they're treating her and then tying all this shit back together. So I'm like infinitely mad by the end of all of this shit. And I'm like, if y'all want to give the happy ending, I would not be upset. I'd be happy. But like, what the fuck, man? Like, why? Why? That's all I want to ask is why? Why now? I mean, I know now because we need the story now. We need to be reminded of these things, especially in media that's exceptionally good. But like, this is a top 3 movie because this made me feel. It wasn't just a bunch of good music with an okay story, because you can find that in any Disney movie. But this actually had the unmitigated gall to have fantastic songs with a couple of outliers that don't even matter to the overall quality, and then have a fantastic story that make you feel, make you empathize, and make you incredibly sad. It makes you want to see these characters all the way through. And yeah, Wicked is that movie. I believe y'all when y'all say it was that musical, and I know for a fact it's that movie. Mm-hmm. And fuck Ozians. Y'all deserve less.
Period. Mike, what about you?
Oh. 10 out of 10. I don't think I'll feel like that in a movie theater again until next November when I watch part 2. Like I'm like still like gooped. I wish I can go see it again. I don't think I have time. I'm gonna try to go see it one more time, but I can't wait to buy the vinyl, the collector's edition. I can't wait to buy a new edition of the book. I can't wait to buy the old book again. Like, I can't wait to buy merchandise. Like, I am a new fan of Wicked. And it sucks because, not it doesn't suck, but I do appreciate the original. I will give the original its flowers next year and, you know, engulf myself into the original stuff. But this is my favorite movie of the year. I'm a big fan of musicals. The gang knows that. I have always loved musicals. I grew up with music, so I don't know. Like, musicals is another thing for me, and I love it. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Enjoyed the movie. The girls, I'm gonna tweet my tweet later, but them crowns has been snatched a little bit, and that's just no shade.
Yeah,
What about you, Aaron?
I totally agree with everything that's been said. It's like I said earlier, this is what movie musicals should be. It enhances what the play is, and they really didn't change anything. It's just using the technology and the tools that they have to make it bigger and better. And I love that about this movie. I think it really is one of the best movies of 2024, and it's one of the best movies in a good minute. You know, if we really gonna keep it a buck, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is.
There is any justice in the world, this
Okay.
this should go home with a significant number of gold statues. In
Like-
a couple of months.
Like for real. And if it
Yeah,
doesn't, then
it's
it's full
definitely
of
gonna-
bullshit. You know, the system
It's
is
definitely gonna be
really,
nominated a
really
lot.
rigged. You know, I can't wait for part 2. You know, this movie.
AVFOs again.
This movie fed me a home cooked meal, tucked me into bed, raised my credit score, taught me how to read.
Yes.
It was beautiful, you know. I think, and like I said, however people feel about the cast outside of the characters is one thing, but they did the damn thing, and this is how you do it. Like, real talk. This sets a very high standard for me for movie musicals again, because it was done so well.
Exactly. Like it's on par with Chicago with how
Yes.
well it was adapted.
Chicago.
Like, people have been
Chicago
saying,
and Little
people have
Shop
been
of Horrors?
saying like Chicago is probably one of the best adaptations of a musical. And said Wicked succeeded that, so it's like that's saying something, because Chicago was my favorite musical film before Wicked. So, and I feel that, watching it and just being there from watching the musical to now, it's a faithful adaptation, but they still make some of their own artistic license when it comes to creativity, which I think made the film what it is. Like all the dance numbers, with the choreography, the cinematography, the locations, the sets, the stage, the acting, like everything was done with grandeur, but it was done for a reason. And this film does a very good job at exploring the big things and the little things. And I enjoyed this movie. I've seen it twice in the movie theater. I saw it Wednesday, and then I took my mom to see it on Friday when it came out. And I can't wait for it to come on digital and physical copies, because I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm gonna keep watching it, and I can't wait for part 2. Like I'm excited. I'm so excited for part 2.
Y'all call me crazy because y'all call me crazy when I tell y'all this or not. I just fucking thought of something. Her battle cry is supposed to be the equivalent to her evil laugh.
There you
And
go.
and that is the propaganda.
There
is
you
that
go.
What they interpret as her evil laugh is probably her hitting that. And damn, this movie has so many fucking layers.
Big layers.
Jesus.
You know, we wouldn't have this musical if it wasn't for that TV show in the 90s, My So-Called Life. So it's a lot to think about. Lots to think about.
We got any upcoming projects we want to tell the good folks about to look on? I mean,
just keep looking out. I mean, like, subscribe, like our videos on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms to find out what we got next. We got our Twitch. We got Twitch.
You know what I want to do?
Y'all always
What?
make fun of me when I say it.
What you want to do?
You know what I
Mike?
want to do? Y'all gonna.
What?
I want the people who follow More Diversity on all platforms. I want us to randomize and put 5 episodes out. And whatever episode gets the highest votes, I want us to review that episode.
So
Okay.
wait, you mean episodes we've already done or episodes?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I want to put out on the social medias. I want us to choose 5 videos, 5 random videos, and we're gonna put clips from each one in a thread or whatever, and be like, vote on which video you think we should review to close out 2024.
Okay.
I like that.
There you go. Mwah.
I have my personal favorite. I just hope it wins, to be honest with you.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be messy.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't say saying messy like taking it serious or messy just to not do it. Because
No, messy in both. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna be messing with my choice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the archive.
Right.
Well,
That's
everyone,
so
thank
funny.
you so much for tuning in and watching us. This is MD. We've just reviewed Wicked. Like I said, like, subscribe, let people know we're here, and we will see y'all later.
wait.
What?
Before you close it out.
What?
I'm glad I just thought of this. Thank God for this energy drink, because I would have forgot otherwise. But like, because in Wizard of Oz Vanilla, as I call it now, all of the characters have duplicates in Dorothy's world, right? So
Mhm.
I wonder how this version, how that reflects and everything, because something that's been in my mind as copium of this not ending terribly tragically and making me sad, the super copium I've had is that Wicked Part 2 ends and Dorothy goes to her world and sees Elphaba, she sees Cynthia and which
Oh,
and
you
it
sweet soul.
immediately falls apart when I think
Oh,
about
you
this.
sweet
America
soul.
in
Well, as
19
Aaron said, just keep your mind
Oh, you
open.
sweet
Don't
soul.
assume
Like-
anything.
Like it's
Just
like my hopium is that Dorothy's gonna go back. She's gonna let something. You were there. And
Dude,
you
I'll
were
be
there,
honest with you.
everybody's-
Like you're doing all this speculation, but the ending is in Wikipedia. You just want to know how it is.
I'm
Like,
not going to Wikipedia. I'm not.
well, you're making
You
all these
sweet
assumptions,
soul.
but you can just go and look it up.
I
Like,
will
it's
not,
not,
you
because
sweet
my fear is that my hopes will be. I'm going to be extra sad, and
you're not
I
gonna be
don't.
sad. Like, let
He
me- you're
gonna
not
no.
gonna be
Well,
sad.
I mean, Avery, he gonna cry throughout
I
the
don't.
movie, and it's
I
okay.
would
You're not
rather.
gonna be sad. You're not
I
gonna
would
be
rather
sad.
create my own headcanon of happiness and joy than, because I'm gonna be real. I'm already expecting the worst. Like I'm super.
Damn,
duper-
Q.
I feel I'm in peak watching WWE in 2019 where I'm just like, God, this shit.
Well, here's what I say. This is what I say. You wouldn't make a movie about the Wizard of Oz and pretty much say the exact same thing and do the exact same thing. That's not gonna happen. So just come into it with an open mind.
No,
Okay.
right? Because y'all know me long enough to know my brain goes in two different directions: the extreme positive and extreme negative. So, like, I'm like, they're
Like I
not gonna
said,
give-
it's like I know you don't want to be ruined. Like I know you don't want to ruin it, but like I said, it's out there. Like you're like, there's no like it's out there. Like it's not.
And like
the ending
these-
has been out there.
and like these white women, I'm gonna tell them, go somewhere. I don't want to see you. Y'all can't
Look,
do nothing for me.
Q.
Hmm.
All you need to know about
Hmm.
part 2 is that there's a kind of a sort of cost.
No,
There
no.
are some things that get lost, and there are bridges you
Yeah.
cross you didn't know you crossed until you cross. That's all you need to
People
know.
I get that reference because somebody already made the reference about the bridges and stuff, because I know that's a part of the song in part 2. So it's
So there you go.
but see, I'm a basic
You,
bitch.
you will
Y'all
be
know
all right.
this.
You will not be disappointed. Okay, like it'll be all right. You will be okay. Like I said, you wouldn't make a story about the Wizard of Oz and have it end from a different perspective and have it end the exact same way that the original. Trust me, you will be all right.
I don't know.
Fucking use the. Oh shit!
And on
I'm
that
sorry
note,
for
goodbye. everybody.
I'm sorry for
Goodbye.
crashing out, but this means this